China continues to operate under secrecy as far as the COVID pandemic is concerned. Since the first outbreak of the pneumonia cases in Wuhan in December 2019 to China letting go of a zero COVID policy in January 2023, Beijing's handling of COVID data has been shrouded in mystery. Now, most of the information from China gets obscured by state policies and intervention, and in the latest report by the Financial Times states that China's Xinjiang province has deleted its mortality data that captured the high death toll that China suffered after relaxing its zero COVID policy. The statistics reveal that during the first quarter of 2023, the number of cremations in the coastal region jumped 73% compared to 2022. The death toll was well above the mark of 99,000, which was previously recorded in the year 2022. If you remember, as soon as the restrictions were lifted, the China witnessed a boom in COVID cases and hospitalizations as well as cremation grounds were flooded with COVID patients. Mortality rates were also getting so high that authorities stopped reporting COVID deaths as part of its daily updates. They even narrowed down the definition of what constituted a COVID death. The World Health Organization accused Beijing of downplaying the severity of the outbreak in January, and statistics on the number of cremations have been systematically left off the dozens of quarterly reports that China has given out. One of the institutions that gained a mark on the global map due to China's handling of the COVID situation is the Wuhan Institute of Virology. The US government has now scrapped funding for the lab due to its non-compliance with the federal regulations. And Nick Harper is now joining us from Washington for the very latest on this. Nick, thanks very much for talking to us this evening. This data that so far was hidden reveals the scale of the death and illness that China has managed to hide from the world, which also impacts the science of uncovering the origins of the pandemic as well. And the US is already saying it is taking action against at least the Wuhan Institute for its lapses.
That's right, yeah. The United States coming out with this memo saying that it is suspending funding to the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Now, bear in mind that the US government has not been funding the institute since about July 2020. But this memo essentially will draw a line under that and says that there will be no more US federal dollars heading to the institute. So just to run you through a few things that are mentioned in this memo, particularly the US is significantly concerned about safety issues at the institute, but also says that the institute has failed to provide adequate documentation. Just to quote part of it, it says it is not compliant with US federal regulations and is not presently responsible. It says that information related to concerns it violated biosafety protocols has not been shared, and it also says that the US is concerned that it broke those protocols not just in the past but is continuing to do so, and the US says it will continue to violate those protocols in the future. Now, the US has not exactly given millions and millions in US federal dollars to the institute. During the period of 2014 to 2019, so a 5-year period, the US gave $1.4 million. Not a huge amount, but certainly this will give credence to that argument that has been circulating not just in the US but around the world that COVID originated from the Wuhan lab. Now, the US government hasn't definitively ruled that that's where it came from, but the past US administration, the Trump administration, was very much pushing that idea that that's where it came from. So drawing a line here and saying that the US will no longer fund that controversial institute in Wuhan.
Right, Nick Harper, appreciate you joining us with all those details this evening about, US government scrapping that funding to the Wuhan lab, and also, of course, reports again of China fudging that data about COVID deaths. Thanks very much indeed.